This guy's called the Standing Streamer.
Wrestling with Regret, and you're watching Putting You Over.
A-boom. Hey everybody, how's it going? What's going on? This is Putting You Over on a happy Tuesday, August 25th. We're one day removed from the go-home show to Payback. We have the Wednesday Night Wars coming on tomorrow, and all that fun stuff. We also have Kasey Catal in a big championship match this weekend. Synergy Pro Wrestling, Heatseekers, ! Synergy in the chat.
Fantasy book, and I don't enjoy it.
Enough of our fantasy booking, Vanessa. We have a guest on.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Save
awesome.
us.
Yes, please save us. How are you doing tonight? Oh, we're doing good. We're just talking about some of the other product, Raw and all that fun stuff. Can you hear me fine and everything? Well, which camera?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yes, good. People in the chat, Blowout Man, Loyal, D-Rod, they'll let us know and I'll handle it from there. First of all, how do I pronounce your last name?
Catal.
Catal?
Yeah.
Catal. Okay, but I'm just going to call you Kasey. What's that?
I'm from New York, so you can always drag the owl.
You're from Poughkeepsie, New York, right?
Yeah, I was raised Poughkeepsie until I was like 20 years old. So
wow. Yeah. I don't live too far from there. I'm in Albany, New York. I try not to.
Oh, you're far. You're real upstate.
Well, I saw you perform in Poughkeepsie. You wrestled Tennille.
Oh, you were there.
I was there.
At the stadium?
I'll tell you this though. I only know I was there for your match during this research. I'll be honest, I didn't know you at that time.
Yeah.
But yes, I was. And I don't remember it because it was a while ago for me. Yeah. And but yeah.
No worries. Cool.
No worries. Yeah, they haven't done that. Well, I guess with the pandemic, nobody's done anything lately, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think baseball stadiums are off the table right now. So
yeah, you wrestled in Northeast Wrestling for a few.
Yeah.
Did you ever? Because Northeast Wrestling used to do some shows at what's it called in Hudson, where the Wildcats, Diamondcats, Thundercats, where the Thundercats play in Hudson, New York. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a minor league baseball team. That's the only reason I thought of it off the top of my head.
They hop.
Yeah,
they do their minor league baseball stadium hops.
Yep. Yeah, I like those guys. They're good. That's a good company.
Yeah, they have good shows.
Let's go with wrestling a little bit here at the start. What was your first wrestling memory? Was wrestling big in your house? Did you grow up a wrestling fan?
No. yeah, I never watched wrestling. I think the most I knew about wrestling until a pretty short time ago was Hulk Hogan, John Cena, like just what I saw in passing. I never grew up with it. My family wasn't into it. I didn't really have like friends or like guy friends that were into it. I grew up with sisters, so we didn't really watch any of it. And then on a weekend, I went to an indie show with my friends on Long Island, and they were like, "You should come watch our friend wrestle." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So we went, and I fell in love with it. Ended up dating one of the guys, and he was like, "No, wrestling's like kind of my thing, so you can like, I don't really want you to do it." And then we broke up 3 years later, and I signed up for wrestling class the next day.
Is that
That
person?
is awesome.
Is that person still in the business?
Yes.
Have you wrestled him?
No.
Would you want to
we're
wrestle
cool
him?
now. We're cool now. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. I always drop this story, but it's just so funny because it's such a weird way to get into it. But
Yeah.
like, he was so strict, like such a big fan. Like they would not miss a Monday Night Raw. They
Mhm.
couldn't DVR it. Like they would have to physically be there. If there was other plans, someone's birthday, a funeral, it didn't matter. Like they were sitting watching Raw. So like it was my life for a very like long time, and I just got so obsessed with it. I was like, I gotta try this. It looks amazing, and the rest was history.
Yeah. You have a back. Oh, first of all, you said you grew up with all sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. I am a father of 3 daughters myself. So.
Oh, God bless your soul.
So I am. I'm living that. They have their own faction name already. It's the Daughters of Anarchy. I'm living that.
Amazing.
Was there a lot of fighting? Like, is that natural?
Yeah, it got worse when we were older. It was weird. Like when we were younger, it was like normal, like just bickering, like stupid stuff. I mean, I was like an aggressive child. I remember throwing like a softball at my sister's head and biting the other one and just being crazy. And then as we got older, like we got worse.
Oh.
And then now we're like best friends.
Yeah,
Like, I think it just comes in stages.
Yeah, that's what people tell me because it's. I mean, not to go off the rails a little bit, but like they throw things at each other, they kick each other, and they're physical people. They're in the sport. Daughters. Yeah. They're in the sports.
Yep.
My shoot job is a behavioral specialist, so when I see like one of them hurt the other or dig into them with their nails, or they're always yelling and this and that, and I'm thinking to myself, do they need a plan? Do I need to write something up? Is this normal? And it's just like, so anytime I meet anyone in any field that grew up with just sisters in the family, I have to pick their brain and find out if I'm gonna survive. Is it normal?
So normal, especially if 2 are like closer in age. They'll like gang up. I'm the baby, so like the 2 would like gang up on me, and then I was the spoiled one because I was the baby, and then middle child syndrome, and she's
no.
it's a whole thing, but it gets better, I promise.
I'll just have to survive. It's been
talking to streamer makes me sad because I have 2 daughters and they're younger than him. And then you tell me this, so I feel like there's some hope, but like right now, it's so dark and cloudy.
Well,
there's hope. There's hope. I promise.
Well, it's funny, Vanessa, because I've said to you before, on a personal level, I was like, "Hey, did you guys think you might have a 3rd child?" And I'm like, "She's not gonna want to have a 3rd child after all these horror stories I tell her about having 3 kids." Good grief, almighty!
No, it gets better. It gets better, I promise. I'm living proof. We're all in our 30s now, so.
Yeah, awesome. Hopefully I can get through those teenage years. But you said you fell in love, you watched wrestling, and that you weren't a wrestling fan growing up. You started dating someone, you started watching it all the time, you fell in love with it. What was it that you got out of wrestling that made you fall in love with it?
Just like the effort, the performance, like the dedication. The first show I went to was an indie show, and it was a lot of it like a hardcore show. Sorry if you hear my cats like grunting in the background. I have no idea.
We could talk cats too. I have 3 of them. Two. Shit. One passed away. I have 2 now. Shit.
They're nuts. They're all nuts. I don't know what they're doing right now. But yeah, so he never does that. So yeah, like I just love the performance aspect. I fell in love with like the extreme. Like I didn't realize that wrestling, because it was a hardcore show, that like it could like be that real.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I thought it was a bunch of like shiny guys in spandex on TV, and like this is totally different. So I kind of fell in love with like the gritty side of it.
Interesting. Where did you end up when you broke up with that fella and then you signed up? You're going to do wrestling. This is what you want to do. Where'd you go train?
I started at Creative Pro,
Ooh.
and that's in Long Island, New York, with Brian Myers and Pat Buck.
Yeah.
And it was a great place to learn. I didn't really know much about either of them because I was brand new into wrestling, and I was like, okay, well, I've seen this guy on TV and this guy looks pretty good. So I did my research. I ended up there, had the best training and amazing opportunities. So I got really lucky.
You go to Creative Pro, you that first day, you take your first bump. What did that feel like, that first bump?
I was so excited, and I remember like trying to hold back the tears because I was like, I've been trying to do this for so long and this is amazing. Like, and I was like, oh no, it's a bunch of guys and they're all gonna like start like kicking me out now and I'm never gonna be invited back. I was like, hold the tears back, like hold them back. But it was pretty incredible, and I was like, all right, I can do this. I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, that's great. I don't even know what that. Can't even imagine that. Oh, and backtrack for a second. So you grew up, or not? You grew up. You were watching wrestling. You fell in love with it. What wrestlers inspired you?
Oh man, I started watching a lot of ECW when I first started watching. So Tommy Dreamer, I was obsessed with him. Chris Jericho is my favorite of all time, so I have to put him on the list. I love Molly Holly. I love Natalia. Just like really cool, badass females, and like of course all just the amazing, great men that walk into that door because everybody's just spectacular. But yeah, Chris Jericho is like my end all be all of wrestling.
Is it true you're gonna name your firstborn child Chris Jericho?
Jericho.
Jericho, yes, it's true.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
It's true. It's true.
Your research.
I did do my research. I did, and I said, "Oh, as soon as I found that out, I was like, oh, I got to lead into this. I got to do the Inspire thing." But really, what I want to know is, you're really going to name that first child Jericho, and that's a great name too for a boy or a girl.
Yeah, I really hope it's a girl, but if it's not, I will give it to the boy.
Would you? Oh, geez, I love kids and okay, don't have to answer it. You get pregnant. Are you going to find out if it's a boy or girl?
I don't want to find out.
Awesome. We didn't find out for our first two kids. The third one, the only reason we found out was because the other two girls wanted to. So we did that for them. So that's awesome. And so we'll get back on track now after.
Yeah, no, I want to be surprised. I don't want expectations. I will throw myself into an anxiety madness that I don't want to deal with. So
I agree. I totally agree. People think it makes it easier, but no, doesn't. Knowing.
Just don't listen to the ultrasound tech, because they'll be like, "Oh, do you want to know?" And then you'll be like, "No," and they'll be like, "Okay, hold on. I won't show you these camera images." So what they're trying to tell you is it's a boy, so we're gonna hide it.
That's
so
true.
don't listen to the ultrasound tech.
And earmuffs, just the whole time.
Just don't listen to them. Or tell them right before they put the goo on you, just be like, "I don't want to know," and then right away, right there, the expectation set. They won't tell you anything.
Amazing, good advice.
I can't even recall now what the hell I was doing during those ultrasounds. I just know we weren't gonna find out. Anyways. You must love her, Vanessa, because she's a Natty fan and you love Natty.
She said Molly Holly. I was already
that's
in
true.
there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, a lot of people are sleeping on Natty. Like, and I'm like, she trained with the boys. She trained, as a heart. Like she did. She went through everything, paid her dues 5 million times over when she didn't have to. Like, She is talent. She's beauty. She's grace. I love everything about her.
Preach, girl, preach.
There you go. You take that first bump, Creative Pro.
Yeah.
Your first match field. That was what, 2017, maybe around there?
Yeah.
2017. How'd you feel inside first match? How'd it go? Would you watch it again?
Yeah, surprisingly, from what everyone was saying, the first match wasn't as bad as a first match is supposed to be, but it was also a tag team match. So
Yeah,
I
okay.
got very lucky. And I was in there with some amazing people. My tag team partner was Chris Statlander, who's now in AEW.
Yep.
And then I was going against another girl from Creative Pro who's very talented, Izzy McKenna, and then she was partnered with Maria Manic.
Yep.
So, and that was back in the Maria Manic Barbie days. So very different from the Maria I got now. But yeah, like I was put in there and I was, put there to succeed with people who were great, who had my back. My whole family was in town for some reason that weekend because it's my mom's birthday. So I had like my sister out of town that was there, my grandparents, everyone had signs. I mean, I was beaming. Like the pictures are just so sweet. And the match was decent. So I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. Was your family behind you when you said, this is what I'm going to do? I'm going to go train at Creative Pro. I'm going to be a professional wrestler. Were they behind you?
Nope.
Are they behind you now?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. My mom is very protective of the baby, so
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're the
go through
baby.
some pretty gruesome injuries, and she's been through that with me. So she's a nervous wreck now every time I wrestle, only because she literally saw me just smash my nose open.
Oh.
So she's very cautious. When I first started, they were like, seriously, but I've always been a starving artist since I was little. I wanted to be an actress. I moved out to LA. Like I beat to my own drum. I've always loved that starving artist, like, career path. Like I'm going to make it. I'm going to do something great. I'm going to perform. So she kind of expected it. But when I got my spot on Raw, she's like, oh my God, you could actually do it. Like, I think like that was like, all right, maybe this could happen one day. So
Yeah.
So
So
it goes back and forth.
let's talk about that spot on Raw. For those that don't know, you wrestled Asuka. It was a quick squash match, I believe, is what they call it. But how does that come about, having you on that show for that opportunity? And what were you thinking and feeling and all that?
Okay, I'm going to keep this short because I always talk way too long about this story. So long story short, the month before that, I had smashed my nose open, like completely. I got surgery, I think 2 or 3 weeks before Raw. I had like 10 stitches in my nose. So I was like, oh my God, I was going for extra work, and I knew I was going for extra work like months before that, where basically you go and it's like, hey, if we need a doctor or we need someone for the Congo line or we need like someone in the background, like that's kind of what you go for, like the experience. So I was like, okay, I don't want to miss this opportunity because it was really early on in my career. Ended up smashing my nose open, whatever. Me and Kristen were going to extra work, got in a car crash, like everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong on this trip. Like my phone blew up because we were outside in the rain. We got there. I was freaking out because I hadn't wrestled in months and trained because my nose. And we got in there and they said, you guys are going to have a match. So go put on your clothes and go see the doctor. And I'm like, what? So now I'm having heart palpitations. I'm like, I can't do this. Why are we having a match? They didn't say anything to us. We had our match and they're like, you're going to wrestle Asuka tonight on Raw. And I was like, excuse me? And like, literally my heart fell into my feet. And I was like, what if my nose busts open? Like I had to put on so much makeup to try and cover my scarring that was like fresh and like take the tape off. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to wrestle. I don't know what I'm doing. It's my like 3rd singles match ever that I've ever had. So I was like, this is like too much for me, but it was a great experience. And I'm like, I still tell everyone I still can't believe it happened. So
yeah, I can't even imagine.
No.
Everything went wrong until that moment, and then it all went right.
Yeah.
For those of the people in the chat here tonight live, and then people, we're gonna push this out to YouTube. They might not know who you are and your style and your character and all that fun stuff. Why don't you let them know who Kasey Catal is?
Oh man, I am a lot of things. I'm a lot of things. Well, I'm fairly new to this business. I've been wrestling for 3 years. I'm kind of morphing into my own now. I'm starting to kind of morph into my own style and find who I am, because it takes a while,
Yeah.
and you kind of go through your trials and your tribulations, what works, what doesn't work. And for me, it's kind of embracing the negativity that I've been experiencing like very early on in my career, especially being a female in wrestling. When I
Yep.
first came in, it was getting better, but still extremely difficult. And I do a play on words now that I'm trash, because I was always like, you're trash, you're just, a decent looking face, and that's why people are booking you. And I've gotten everything, and I'm like, you know what? If trash is what I am, then trash is awesome. So I'm just trash. So now I go with it, because I'm just trying to embrace who I am, embrace the bad with the good, because that you got to have that confidence. And I'm starting to find myself and my confidence as a wrestler. As for a style of wrestling, I kind of just do it all. I evolve and I grow. I've done death matches. I've done like grappling fights. I do like a little bit of high flying stuff, nothing crazy, but I'm just a scrappy fighter, and I'm gonna do what it takes to win. Whether that's jump off a balcony, get thrown into exploding barbed wire, or tap someone out in a submission. Like it really depends.
When I was preparing for this, I went back, watched some matches here and there. The death matches, insane. The way I would describe you, fearless, relentless.
Yeah.
Those are the two words that came to mind when I was doing this.
Yeah. Stupid.
I guess we could use that word.
A little of that.
A little of that. But you gotta be a little stupid to do that. You could still be relentless and fearless and stupid
There
at
we
the
go.
same time. Stupid in a good way, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to say that out loud. I tell my kids all day, I don't want to hear that word stupid. You say dummy or
Sorry.
silly. No, it's fine.
Sorry, Dad.
It's fine. Intergender wrestling. You talked about how it's hard for you also as a female wrestler, which is hard for all the female wrestlers. I get it. But where do you stand on intergender wrestling? Because some people are in one side, some people are far on the other side. Where does Kasey stand?
I love intergender wrestling. I've had some of my best matches with men. It's hard because as a female, we want more women's matches on a card. We want more representation of everybody. So yeah, it's a dicey subject. But as for storytelling, I've wrestled women who are triple my size, and I've wrestled men who are exactly my size and smaller. So if the believability thing is an issue, I think it's a little bit obscure to say, because I can beat a man who's half my size, and I could beat a woman who's triple my size. It just depends on how I utilize my skills. So I've had some great matches. I love intergender wrestling. I also find that sometimes it's a little less competitive, because there are such limited spots for women on a show, that if you're wrestling a guy, it's almost like, okay, well, like let's really work together, as opposed to sometimes when you're wrestling a woman and they're like, all right, like I gotta outshine you because this is my spot, this is my chance, because no one else is gonna see me because it's our one match on the show. So it's a give and take. But I love it, and I think if it's done right, it's incredible, and I'm all for it.
Your phone rings, and it's a promotion on the other line offering you a deal. Do you want that promotion to be WWE, NXT, or AEW?
Ooh, what a question. So usually people ask me, where do you want to end up? But now you're giving me like viable, like ABC. Yeah. Where do you go?
Where do you see yourself fit best?
If it happened tomorrow, I don't know if I'd take any of them.
I could see an MLW, but
yeah,
I don't see any women over in MLW, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, there's a few, very few, but not really.
They just started their division last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
8 or NWA.
I think for me, I need to, and I want to grow more, and I want to adapt more, and I want to have more opportunities like worldwide and countryside. for me as a performer, I think NXT would be an amazing place for me to learn. And if that, wasn't successful for me and I ended up somewhere else, at least I would have those tools from the best trainers in the world, the best facility in the world, just so I can really grasp everything and learn everything. I think that's the most important thing for me. I think if I got thrown into AEW and put on TV tomorrow, that I would really get lost in the shuffle and I wouldn't be prepared for it, mentally or physically. So I think going to a developmental program and really getting my my ass in shape and in gear, I think is the best thing for me in my future.
I think that's a phenomenal answer. I think what I take away out of that is like, no matter where you do go, or no matter where you go, you want to learn, you want to grow, and you want to progress from that. So it doesn't matter where you go; it matters what you take away from it. And I love that answer. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of places, and you'd be great everywhere, anywhere. But I have to ask you, you've been in the ring with your husband. Your husband has a reputation, I guess is the right word. He's got a reputation. We've talked to Colin West on here before.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not the. So I had Colin West on here, and I was just getting into Synergy, and I had all my notes. I'd done a lot of good research, and I got to a segment. This is great though. I got to a segment, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw some names at you. I'm just gonna throw a name at you, and then you give me a one-word response of what you're thinking of them. It doesn't matter what. So I throw these names at him: Jordan Oliver, Simon Gotch. I throw these names. I mentioned Brandon Kirk, and the entire interview changed like this, and I had no idea what was happening. So, anyways, but so
you probably cut a 15-minute promo on Brandon on your podcast.
I went back to get it because I wanted to clip it because we'll talk about it in a little bit. The Heatseekers pay-per-view coming up, big opportunity for your entire family actually.
Yeah.
But you've been in the ring with him, correct?
Yeah.
Against and with him?
Yeah.
What is that? What is it like wrestling? Okay. So were you guys together when you wrestled?
Yes.
What is that like?
Yeah, I don't know if we were married yet. I think we were either engaged or married. I agreed to do a show with him, a Dojo Wars show. So it's like the student show for CZW because I was like, it might be fun to wrestle my husband. Like, he's very talented. Like, let's see how it goes. Well, let me just tell you, there's a clip floating around somewhere on the internet. He posted all the time, so you'll probably see it.
Of course you did.
It was me and Delmy, EXO from the Sea Stars versus him and Nate. Nate, the rep Nate. And it was a tag match, and Brandon chopped me so hard. And like, I can take some stuff. Like, I'm not a wimp. He chopped the life out of me to the point where I was so pissed. I made him sleep on the couch that night.
I was just gonna say, does that carry over? Like
yes.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I had a handprint right here on my chest, like a welt, and I was like, was that necessary? It's a freaking student show. He posted it. The internet went crazy. They're like, how could you do that? I'm like, you are such a jerk. But yeah, I've been like in tag matches like with him, which are really fun. I've done a lot at CZW. I did a show with him and Jeff Cannonball at Limitless, which was like awesome. We wrestled Main State Posse, which was like one of my most fun matches ever. And yeah, one match when we were tagging together, he elbowed me in the eye and gave me a black eye, which is also really fun. I'm like, you're on my team. You're on my team. And I went home with a black eye. So yeah, he's a character. He's a hoot.
He's something else. Else. Hopefully I can get him on here someday and can hear his promo on Colin.
Yeah.
He may be champion. He may not. Big weekend coming up for Kasey and Mr. Kasey.
Yes.
Yes, that's
Mr.
right.
Catal.
Mr. Catal.
I tried. He wouldn't change it.
He didn't want to change it. He wanted to stick with Kirk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Of course he did.
Yeah.
So big weekend, Heatseekers. Synergy Pro Wrestling this Saturday at 7 p. You're in the Cruiserweight Crown. No, okay. So here's a question I have for you. We were talking right before you got in the air. So I was making these cool graphics and trying to find stuff, and I knew you were going to be involved, and then I look on the graphic on Synergy's Twitter, and it's got TJ Crawford, and then it's got the Whisper in the background, and then it's got Kasey Catal with a question mark. So are you in the match or not in the match?
I haven't decided yet. So here's the thing. Here's the scoop. Here's the tea. So I was supposed to have a number one contendership for the crown because of my illness taking me out of my first opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So TJ wins the crown. So I'm thinking, shouldn't I have a singles match with the person who won because I won a number one contendership? So now I'm thinking, why would I have a triple threat when I earned a singles match? Because now I'm going to have to work against two really talented, strong men. And that's going to be double the work for me. And then what if I lose out on that opportunity to actually win? So now I'm like, well, Colin, love you, Colin, but you're kind of screwing me. So I'm going to see. I'm going to see if I can benefit from it, and maybe I'll show up. I don't know.
Is Colin just? I mean, does he have is this retaliation against Brandon? Like, why do you have to? Why does this generic Jeff Hardy get the first? Get the shot at TJ Crawford? You were supposed to be in that initial match. This is your match for the crown.
Yeah. No, me and Colin are cool. I love Colin. I think Colin's being too nice and giving too many people opportunities. Like, there's another match for a number one contendership for the crown. I'm like, wait, hold up. Like, let's get through the first round of stuff first, and then we can worry about, competitor 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because, like, unimportant right now. Like, let's focus on the now. Let me get my crown, and then we can move on from there. So we'll see what happens.
So it is a big weekend, Heatseekers. This Saturday on Fight, 7 p.e. Exclamation point Synergy in the chat. Can get the link. You can order it. So the Kirk family, big opportunity. Guys can come home heavyweight champion of Synergy in the Cruiserweight crown. If Brandon does not come home with that title, is he also sleeping on the couch?
As long as he's in like one piece, I'm okay, because you never know what he's gonna do in a match. Like, things will be normal, and then they'll just go like, and like insanity will strike, or he'll take out a staple gun, or something will just happen insane. So I'm like, as long as you keep it like normal, and I don't have to like, pull glass out of you or like wipe blood off your face, like, we're good.
Awesome. I look forward to it. What I do at the end of every interview is I'm going to give the mic to you. You can put over anything you want. You can say anything you want, plug, bury, promote, retweet, chase the hug. I don't care what you do. The floor is yours.
Okay. Follow me. Instagram and Twitter. I deleted my Twitter a while ago, and now I just got it back up. So I only have like 400 something followers, and I have like 4,000. So go follow me. It's Catal Kirk. And then don't add me on Facebook. I never answer. And then Instagram is Kasey Lynn with an E Kirk _. Just be kind to one another. Keep doing what you're doing. Be kind, be happy. Black Lives Matter, Trans Lives Matter. Do all the right things and spread love.
Awesome. You've been a pleasure to have on. Hopefully we can have you and your husband on as dual champions and royalty of Synergy Pro Wrestling. Guys, check out Kasey. Check out Heatseekers. Kasey, it's been a pleasure to have you on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye. That was awesome, Vanessa.
Good job.
Yeah, it was great. She was awesome. You were great, Kasey.
Thanks.
Yeah, anytime.
You guys were lovely.
Good. That's what we try to do. We try to be lovely.
Here's my beautiful husband. Hello.
Oh, hi, Brandon.
Well, not in a good mood. Mavericks are down 20
It's fine. Oh, he's not. He looks like me when I'm not in a good mood.
Yeah, we're having a rough game.
Oh, you guys are Mavericks fans. They're not winning right now, I take it?
They're always down by 20 points by the half, and then we always catch up.
They have the greatest player in the NBA.
Maxi Kleber.
He's so good. Luka is so good.
Luka's so good.
All right, I'll let you guys go. I know what it like. I'm a big sports fan. I know what it's like. I don't talk to anyone.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
Have a great night. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Oh, that was great.
This guy's called the Standing Streamer. I got the balls to say things that nobody else has the balls to say. The champ is here!